Alright, so I'm just going to let the front here sit for a little bit, because what I want to get to next is the back and the sides. I completely now got the rest of the finish cleared off here. Then just judging by how that looks, I almost kind of wish I went with this method on the front instead of burning it up and going with my original method. But I think just as a whole, this entire guitar looks great as is. So I'm just going to keep this, oil it up, and then just leave it as is. Okay, so I have it all completely cured, and honestly, I think it looks pretty good. Has this weird, I don't even know what you want to call this design on here, but I was going to leave it as one coat, and just with my 3000 git pad here, just kind of smooth it all off on the sides as well. Then after that, I'm going to continue on with the front. But first, I'm going to get to the pick guard. So I did the same thing. I just sanded this down till the point where it actually kind of turned a little brown, but I'm okay with that. Definitely looks like it's now completely made out of wood. And then I put the oil on top. So same thing, I'm just going to use this pad, wet a little bit, and then kind of smooth this out.
Just think about it right now. Everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay. You have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. You have something that's going on in your life right now that's
so I'm just going to leave that off to the side. Last I checked, it's still feeling a little tacky, but nah, it's fine. So, gonna start with this. Alright, so it's looking a lot better now. I actually wanted just to save a lot of time, and, well, a hell of a lot of time, using the drill and using my pad here, my 3000 grit pad, instead of my hand one, because doing that takes forever. But it's a lot better now, so what I'm going to get to next is using my scratch scratch fix polish, and then using an actual wax over top of that, and again just using a buff pad. Okay, so it still has that really weird like design. I don't know if it shows up. It's worse on this side, but I think that's the best I can do without using like a lot more thicker sandpaper and just really going down on this. But since I only have the thin coat of the oil, I think I'll just have to leave it as is. But other than that, the purple looks half decent. Kind of has this almost like tie-dye look to it, but I think it's just a side effect of those marks on there. But just for the little bit of polish that's on the sides, just going to wipe that off. Then I'll continue with the front.
The suppression, the use of marijuana.
That is a lot better now. I'm really happy with how that looked. Now, definitely two opposing kind of colors. Top being a lot more of a purple, back and sides being more of a violet. But I think I'm just being a little picky there. So, I'm happy with how this is turning out. So, I let this sit overnight, and now this finish is completely glossy and it looks fantastic. And same thing with the back and the sides. So what I'm going to get to next is I'm going to get to all the electronics here, try and finish this next part off just so I can get to putting the neck and everything else back on and just finishing this guitar. So I have my new pickups just sitting right here, and these ones are some Dragonfire Texas Blues for the Telecaster that I had bought. So I haven't tested these ones out specifically, but I did test out the ones for the Strat, and those ones actually sound pretty decent. So hopefully these ones are going to be the same. The only difference with how they are manufactured is just because they're for a Telecaster. The one pickup is the lipstick style, as opposed to just normal single coils. But this one right here is the normal single coil style. So might sound just a little bit different. Might have that Telecaster twang that a Strat doesn't necessarily quite have, but we shall see. So as of right now, I still have all the other hardware just sitting, where do I have? Right here. So I'm just gonna reuse all this stuff, reuse the switches, reuse the pots, and just everything here, because why the hell not? The switch is perfectly fine. The pots, unfortunately, are the smaller size ones, the mini pots, but well, it's not too big of a deal. So just gonna reuse all this stuff and then just use them with these new pickups. This grounding part is gonna be done after I am getting all this mounted to the guitar body. So what I'm gonna do next is just mount this onto this bridge here. I think that's the extra screws and that guy there. Okay, this one's for the pick guard, so this one's for here.
The suppression. The use of marijuana.
Okay. And now it's gonna go back to mounting these. So I'm gonna do that one last, just to make sure that all these are actually holding the wire in place. So it's gonna start with the middle one. Just get nice and snug. The left. And now this one with the wiring. And you can always trim a little bit back, but for right now, just to make sure I have a good contact, I'm just going to leave it as is. And then just gonna wrap it around the screw. Like that. And now nice and snug again. Okay. Okay, so all this is through. So what I'm going to do next is just mount this pickup onto my custom-made pick guard right here. But in order to, again, I'll just get this out of the way. Okay. And after this, I get this on, I'll mount the pick guard to the body. Just using the pre-existing screws, just these screws. And then after that, should we good to go to do the rest of the wiring, do all the soldering and everything. Yeah. Okay, 2 seconds. These screws are just a little too big. I'll have to drill these holes out just a little bit. So give it 2 seconds. Okay, the holes are a little bigger now, so this should work just fine. Just gonna clear that off. Okay, round 2. Okay, so now this is done, it's now time to actually do the rest of the wiring here. So, just going to start with doing the grounds first and attach it to the portion on the switch here, because that was just how it was originally done. It doesn't really matter where, I can put it onto the pots here, but since there's still some solder left over there, might as well reattach it. And then, the hot for the neck pickup goes right on top here, and the hot for the bridge goes right here. Okay, but this is finally done. So that wasn't too bad. So this is completely screwed down. Like I said before, I'm still missing this nut, but whatever, I can make that work through testing it, which I will do right now. Just going to use the amp I just have set in the back. Okay, so what I'm just going to do this time is just something very similar to what I did last time, is just go off of each pickup, tap them just with a screwdriver, and see if it rings out, like that. So I got nothing on this one, and I do it here, so that one's accurate. Middle position, reading there, and bridge. Nothing, and we're good. And now I'm just going to test these as well. So in the background, I can hear it fading a bit. Going to tap it again. So it's working there. Go straight to the bridge. Okay, it's working. Now for the volume. Perfect. So this thing's completely done. So I'm just going to put the neck back on and go from there. Okay, so we're going to put the neck back on, but I actually completely forgot. I didn't even finish it. I didn't put the rest of the hardware back on here. So it's going to go ahead and quickly deal with that as well. So thankfully I have all the other pieces still in these bags, so they're nice and clean. The old stuff is right over here. I'm just going to put in this big bag right here. And also, just because these things came with these ferrules here, I might actually have to drill out these holes just a little bit in order to make these guys fit. Yes, I will. So, give me 2 seconds while I drill these out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I drilled out the holes just a little bit. So, now I'm just going to put all these in, and hopefully these existing holes will be able to match up. I know not all of them will, because there used to be 2 screw holes, now it's just down to 1. But hopefully one of the existing holes, just by how it lines up, should theoretically work. But we'll see. We might have to shift them off just a little bit. have to grind this down because I'm honestly trying not to make this look like the old Hannah Montana guitar anymore. It's completely brand new. So I think I'm going to try and grind this whole Disney thing right off of here. So next part. Okay, that's actually kind of cool looking. Oh. You can see that. Also apologize. Even though I'm already wearing gloves, I've done this before and it gets really, 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 really hot, as you could obviously imagine. But yeah, that actually looks not too bad, the different colors. So, that part's done. Just gonna let that sit for a bit and then I'm gonna put it back onto the guitar. Okay, now that this plate is completely done, I'm actually quite happy with how it turned out. The Washburn logo is still there a little bit and everything else, all the Disney stuff is completely gone. And just because this part was underneath the clamp, I just took it off and decided just to lightly sand it down just to at least match the rest of this just a little bit to have that kind of satiny finish. But that's now done. So now it's time to get the rest of this guitar back on. So again, very easy. Usually what I do is I make sure that the neck is really securely tight on there by putting a bunch of clamps on. But I think just for how nicely it sits in here, I don't have to do that. So I'm just gonna put these screws through here. Oh, there you go, just in case you guys couldn't see. Oh, 2 seconds. Don't have the screw on here. Okay. There we go. Alright, and that is done. And now, just afterwards, once I get inside the house, I'll grab the new strings and put the strings on here. And honestly, I'm kind of liking how the headstock looks, and especially considering that this original cover is a bit of a different color. So I think I'm just gonna leave this off. It's garbage. So I'm just gonna keep this as is. Obviously I have nothing to do. I can't change the frets or the inlays anymore. So I think this thing's done. Gonna put some strings on and then test her out. Okay, so neck on a clean tone. Oh. This thing's also missing the high E string, by the way. Middle position. And now, bridge. That's, holy crap, that's bright. dirty tone. Middle. Now the bridge. Let's turn that down a little bit. These are actually not bad pickups for the Hannah Montana guitar. God damn. Okay, let's try the second time, because I forgot to hit record. Okay. Alright, so as you can hear, there's quite a bit of buzz in there, but that's because, well, it's a single coil. So, you can hear all that. So, here's what the neck position will sound like. Sounds pretty good. Middle. Nice and snappy. Now, neck. Okay. And now, let's put some overdrive in there. So, again, neck. Okay, middle. Now just give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to tune this again. Okay, so unfortunately, because the headstock is kind of like a Gibson here, and new strings, it's going to be auto-tuned for a bit here. So, middle position. And then quickly, brace position. I like it. And then yeah, just volume still works on all those. Tone still works on all those. And yeah, I think it sounds quite nice.